Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Fall will be here before we know it. It's that time of year where we get to enjoy all of the beautiful fall foliage, the gorgeous fall flowers, and visiting pumpkin patches. I love to get real pumpkins to decorate in my home and on my front porch. I also like to start reading a lot of books at this time. I love to curl up with a good book, with some hot tea, hot chocolate, or even hot cider. It's also that time of year where I love to try new soup recipes. But right now, I'm going to get started on my fall crafting. That is what this video is all about. I'm going to be joining my friends Monica from Up All Night DIY, Annie from Crafting with Indie Annie Jones, Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling, Lisa from Our Gray House, and Zaina from OK at Home DIY. Now, let's get started on the first project. For my projects, I'm going to be using items that are thrifted or that I found on sale. Here is one that I got on clearance just recently at Michael's. You can see it's from their spring collection, and they were 80% off. When I saw this, I was like, this is definitely fall with this raffia and the wood beads. It's a cute little wreath. Now, I'm not going to be hanging it on a door or on a wall. I'm going to hang it on something else, so that little hanger is going to come in handy. But I do want to spruce it up just a little bit before I add flowers. And I want to do something with the wood beads in the center. So I am taking some white paint, watering it down, and just doing a quick whitewash on it. And the reason I'm making this white is because I'm going to be using some white accents, and what it's going to be hanging on is white. So I want it to all tie in. And here are some flowers that I also got from Michael's the same day that were half off, so they were 99 cents for the little pieces. And I think these are going to be perfect for the colors. I want to use some whites, some tans, and some oranges. Now then, before I put the flowers on, what I want to do is I have these pitberry, I'm not sure exactly what they are. I got them at a garage sale this summer. You can see it's pretty big pieces. They were 50 cents a piece. I couldn't pass that up. And they do come off really easily, so I thought I'd just use one. As you can see, I took 6 pieces off and I still have more that I could use. And I am going to be hot gluing these on. I know I normally don't do that, but I couldn't figure out how to get them to go inside the raffia, and I didn't want to ruin the wreath. So it needs to be cut off just a little bit shorter here. All right, so I'm going to be just doing some hot glue. I'm not going to put a whole lot of hot glue on here because this is going to be staying inside the house, and it might be easier to try to pull the stuff off if I want to change it, but I might just leave it the way it is. Now, I have a lot of people ask me about my hot glue gun. This is something that I got from Hippo, and I've seen that they don't have them anymore, but I found something similar on Amazon, and I will link that down below if you're interested. And I have to say that I am very pleased with this one that I have, because it is a rechargeable one, and it does last for quite a while. And you just want to make sure that you turn it off, of course, when you're not using it, even if it might be 5 minutes later. And I've noticed that if I haven't used it for a couple of days, that it is still working. And it doesn't take long to charge it up either. All right, so let's go ahead and get all these on here. And you know what? I'm kind of liking it just the way it is because I think this looks pretty. But of course, I got to add my orange flowers. All right, so now I'm going to hot glue the flowers in, just randomly place them in. I have to pull that up a little bit there. I think I'm going to put one right here. Okay, so I'm going to place one here. So what I'm basically doing is just taking a couple pieces and placing them in between the pip berries. just a few more to go. Okay, let's get the last ones in. All right, let's flip. Okay, get that in there. All right, I think this looks really, really pretty. Now let's see what I'm going to hang it on. So I have this picture frame here that I got from Home Goods many years ago on sale. And I was going to use it for something with Christmas, but I never did. But I'm going to leave it just like it is with the cardboard right here because I think that ties in with the fall, with that color. And with a little hook back here, I'm just going to take a paper clip, cut it off, and I'm going to stick it through the cardboard and twist it around. So let's see how it turned out. All right, here it is. I think this is gorgeous. This is going to look great for my fall decor. Now let's go on to project number 2. Now this is an item I got at the thrift store. It's not pretty, as you can see, and I don't like the polka dots. If it didn't have the polka dots, it'd be okay, but I don't like the polka dots at all. And I really don't like the colors either. But what I've done is I've taken some paper clay here. As you can see, I did those. So all I'm doing is taking my paper clay and I'm covering up all these polka dots because they are all raised. And the good thing with this pumpkin is it looks like it's hand carved. It's a resin pumpkin, but it's got the look, you know, the chunky look of being carved. So I'm going to get this all finished up and I'll have to let it dry overnight. And then I'm going to paint it white after that. Now that I've painted it white, I am going to be painting the outside edges orange. I'm going to be using Pueblo, and I will be painting the stem and the leaf in this cloudberry tan. All right, so I ended up not using I did use the Pueblo, but I didn't like it, so I changed to terracotta. I liked it much, much better. And of course, I'm still going to be using the cloudberry tan, so let's go ahead and get the stem and the leaf painted. And I'm going to leave that white for right now. All right, so I've got the stem and all that painted. So I'm taking this dark chocolate brown, and I have my bristle brush, and I am just tapping it a little bit into the paint and brushing it on to bring out all the details. And if I put too much on, I can always go back over it with some of the cloudberry. But I am trying to get in all the little veins of the leaf here and the lines in the stem. And I do think this looks much better with the tan color instead of that green. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this finished up, and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, so I got all of that done, and I have taken a color called pigskin, and I am just taking a damp paper towel and I'm dabbing it all over the orange. I just want to tone it down just a bit. Okay, and I've already done the other side, but we're going to get this side done. And I am going to be doing one more color over this once it dries. I'm going to be taking my dark chocolate again here, and I'm going to be putting that over that. I just think that this brings out all the little details in the carved look. Okay, let's kind of put a little bit more on. I don't like to put it on too heavy. Just a few light coats, and then you can keep going over it if you need to make it darker. Let's put a little bit more over here towards the edge. All right, so that's all I'm going to be doing there. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is just a little bit more of the brown just along the edges here. Just going to lightly shade it in. And we're going to go all around. Okay. I think that this kind of makes it look a little more real. Oh, and then we are definitely going to get this painted next, the white. I'm going to be using antique white because it will be more of a creamy color, and I think that will go, it's kind of like the tan that was in the wreath that I just did. So let's just get these painted. And there are some details in this panel. It has a little plaid design that is etched in and like a little stitching that goes around it. So I'm going to have to bring those details back out. All right, so I'm going to get the other side done, and once it dries, I'm going to be using the terracotta and trying to bring out all those little details. Okay, so this is what I've done on this side. Now we're going to do it over here. I am just painting it on, and I'm taking a damp paper towel and I'm just rubbing it off a little bit. Plus this also darkens the antique white. So once I get some of this done, some of these aren't really etched in really deep, so I'm going to have to use my skinny brush here. But let's go ahead and get all these. You can see the details coming out, but some of these aren't. So I'm just going to try to draw these in as best as I can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, I'm loving how this is looking. Let's get more of these drawn in. All right, and then I'm going to go in, as you can see, the little stitch marks, just going to be painting those in too. All right, so here is how it turned out. I think this is so much better looking than it was when I bought it. I almost didn't buy it, but I knew it had potential. All right, now for the next project. This is a little metal bucket that I got at the thrift store, the Ark thrift store. I got it for half off, which is a great deal. And I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I'm going to take some jute. Got a couple pieces here, and I'm going to wrap the handles with it, just to dress it up a little bit. Okay, so I've tied a knot, and I put just a little bit of hot glue on there. And I'm just going to be wrapping the jute around the handle as tightly as possible. And I will also be using the jute in another section of the bucket here. All right. So I tied a knot there, and I'm going to put some more of that hot glue just to hold it. There we go. Make sure it doesn't unravel. And I will do the next handle, and then we're going to go on to what else I'm going to be doing to this. Now, this is the second ply of a napkin that I printed off. I've shown this before in some of my videos. And I'm just going to tear this around. And this is going to get Mod Podged onto one side of the bucket. I'm just going to do one side of the bucket. Just going to continue to tear this as gently as possible because this is a small design. I'm going to put it right there. Okay, now that I got it done, I am going to use my Mod Podge, and I'm going to put it on the bucket because that one ply of the napkin is just so delicate. And hopefully I get it all where I need it to be. All right, let's put it on. Just going to tap it down, lightly pat it. Don't want to rip that, it's very delicate. Looks like I need a little bit more in this area. Okay. It's got a few wrinkles, just want to tap at them. All right, so I think that looks really pretty. Now that it dried, I actually took some gray paint to kind of camouflage a little bit of the whiteness that was on there. And now I am just adding some more of the jute. Just going to hot glue it on and do a few rows of it. This is a quick and easy way to update an everyday item for fall. All right, so this one is done. Now my last project is an item that I got from Tuesday Morning many years ago. And it's cute, but it needs just a little bit of help. So again, I'm going to use my terracotta. I'm going to paint all the black except for the front there. I'm going to be using some paper on there. So he looks like an acorn, as you can see. But I got to have that orange in there. So we're going to paint all of this orange. I'm going to keep the wings the color they are and the top of the acorn the way it is. Alright, so now I'm going to use that cloudberry tan for up above, and it is just a little bit different color than what is already there. You can see it's a little bit lighter. Might be kind of hard to see the difference. But I'm going to get both of the little things done here. Okay, and I'm also going to be doing around the eyes also, but not just yet. So I'm taking some of that dark chocolate now that these have dried, and I'm lightly brushing that on. And I'm also going to use some on the orange here too. Kind of like I did on the pumpkin. And I'm also taking some of the pig skin and dabbing that on. Just needs a little bit more. All right, so now I'm going to do the eyes, around the eyes. I'm going to leave the pupil alone. And I'm taking my antique white and I'm just lightly brushing this on, dry brushing it. As you can see, it does brighten up the eye just a little bit. Now that I have all that done, I have some scrapbooking paper that I cut to fit here. Just going to Mod Podge it on. I thought this looked like it coordinates with everything that I'm doing here, the colors of the plaid. Just thought it'd be kind of cute to have some plaid. Gotta have some fall plaid. It's not just for Christmas. Yeah, just make sure I get enough on here. Okay. And we're just gonna press it on. All right, now I could leave it just like this, but I want to do a little bit more embellishment on it. So I have this raffia bow that came off of a Dollar Tree item that I'm doing for another project. And I thought it was perfect size for my owl. So we are just going to hot glue it on. Then I have a couple of buttons. I have this dark brown button that I'm going to put on first. And then I have a really small creamy off-white button that I'm going to set in the center of this one. All right, I think he just looks so cute now. Let's get that button on there. All right, one other thing that I did was I took some of the Cloudberry tan, and there are a few raised pieces here, as you can see on his wings, and I just put a little bit on that. So let's check everything out here. So I styled it a little bit on my entry table, all my projects, and we'll get a closer look. All right, my sweet friends, that's going to do it for the video today. I hope that you enjoyed it and I could give you some ideas. Now, please be sure to check out everyone's videos. I have the playlist link down below in my description box. I want to wish everybody a very wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.